spooky shit. Indeed, fuzzy spooky shit is back. Mr. Keegan, we are back once again to talk all things horror and scary stuff. How are you? You well?
Yeah, I am very well. We got some very juicy news this week.
Man,
Some first looks at some
Don't
movies I'm
lie.
excited for.
It's fuzzy. Fuzzy knows what's coming, right? There's going to be some talk about Toy Tat. There's going to be a Scream slide. There'll be you'll squeeze some video game bollocks in here as well. That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yes, that is the show in a nutshell, effectively, I think. Yeah. You gotta have consistency, Pete. You do.
Exactly. You do. You're right. Yeah. Shall we just crack straight on them, because I know you'll be absolutely chomping at the bit to talk about Scream.
This is very interesting. So Joel McHale has been cast in Scream 7 as Sidney's husband, Mark. Now, Sidney's husband was referenced in Scream 2022 as Mark. Now, there's a character in Scream 3 called Mark Kincaid, played by Patrick Dempsey. So the assumption was that she married him. And I think at the time of that movie, that was the deal, was that she went on to marry that guy. So this casting has shown that, no, it's just a different Mark that she's gone on to marry. So my guess is that Patrick Dempsey was unavailable, or maybe they couldn't reach a deal or something like that, and they realized, well, we didn't actually specifically say it was that character, so we can just put whoever we want in. That being said, I really love Joel McHale. I'm a big fan of Community, so I'm happy to see him doing this.
Have you been watching The Bear?
No, I've never seen it. I've heard amazing things. I've been meaning to.
Fuzzy, I think, has watched The Bear. Fuzzy, remind us, is he the horrible chef that screws the bear's life up? I'm sure that's the guy.
My memory is that he is in The Bear, so I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Fuzzy's not convinced. Scream, jump the shark. It's official. Yeah. I like him. I think he's a good actor. If it's who I think it is, I think he's a very good actor. Fuzzy's saying no, it's not. Is it not?
Not him. Okay, fair enough.
Who plays that? Who plays that character then? Like the horrible one that he keeps flashing back to now and then.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something now that you would know him from.
I recognize him.
You've never seen Community, though, no?
No.
He's in Spider-Man 2. He's the bank teller that doesn't give Aunt May the loan when Doc Ock attacks the bank. That's him.
Right.
So,
okay.
I don't think
I recognize his face. I'm sure I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Really solid actor. Really good. I think he'll be probably like a comedic beat of the movie as well. Like, he's a very funny actor. So excited to see him. But like very exciting news is Mindy is back. Mindy Meeks. So Jasmine Brown Savoy, I want to say is the actress's name, is returning. So the brother characters we already knew was coming back. We're getting the Meeks twins back fully now. So I'm happy about this.
I'll have to go back and rewatch. I recognize and I remember her from the movie, but I cannot remember what happened to her at the end.
Yeah. I think just she survives. I think she's like the main suspect for like the second half of the movie, because she just disappears halfway through and then she just shows up at the end. So like I'm happy to see her. Like they are the kind of explain the rules characters, so I think they are like actually kind of necessary for like structurally for the film. So I'm happy to see at least some of the legacy characters of the newer films coming back. You know,
be cool. Fuzzy say I thought you meant someone else. I think he plays the Bear's main mentor, Fuzzy, but he's only in it kind of 2 or 3 times over 3 seasons. I
would tell you right now if he's in The Bear.
Check him out. Go on, check him out.
Check him out, please. He is in The Bear. He's abusive chef David Fields.
That's the fella. I thought yeah. He plays a very good part in that. He plays a prick basically. But yeah, he's very good. So there is that all. Are we done? Are we done? Scream news?
I mean, potentially. Like, it's filming now, so we're gonna get set photos. We're gonna get probably some more casting. I would think. It always strikes me as weird when like you get casting after the film has started filming. I think actually initially this slide was going to be the like clacker boards of like Scream 7's filming now.
Oh, say clacker again. I like that.
Clacker.
Yeah,
clacker. Yeah. So like I know movies are shot over weeks and actors only need for chunks of that, but like it is kind of weird when it's like, oh, we're filming a week later. Oh, here's a new cast member.
Yeah, maybe the script rewrites not a good thing.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's. Yeah, pleasure to meet. Can we be friends?
Stay away.
You'll never get as good a friend as Fuzzy SM. You'll never get as good a friend as Fuzzy. He's the main man. I've added this one in, James. I know we've talked about this a few times. We've just add a little bit more to to the mix, as it were. This is the Netflix show that's a follow-on from the Killer Street shows, which were really, really good. 3 of them.
Movies, aren't they?
Yeah.
The trilogy of movies, and this is the 4th movie.
Yeah, and we really enjoyed them. I know we've talked about them before.
Them.
I guess putting this one on because it's kind of come out that this is R-rated, so they've gone full-on blood, gore, snot, and all the rest of it. I'm really looking forward to this. Looking forward to it.
I love the vibe. I think like this one, it seems to me, just even looking at it now, Carrie might be the kind of vibe that they're going for with this one, which sounds really, really cool. So I'm curious what they're going to do. Is there supernatural elements to the first 3 movies? There's like a witchy stuff in the last one.
Yeah, because there's witchy stuff by the end of it, but in the first movie, the killers are kind of they just keep coming, don't they? And they can't die and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember how it's created.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah, someone's like possessed or something, and that's they start killing people. Yeah.
Good films.
They also announced that there's 3. They're doing 3 more.
Yeah,
that's it. That was in this. Yeah, that's what I thought this slide was for. Yeah, I mean, I love the series. I would like to see them do like the release once a week thing again, like just film 3 movies at once. Because I thought that was really cool, like structure, and it was exciting, like seeing for the next one to come out.
Good stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Terry's just saying, evening, I wasn't sent that this was on. Mr. Keegan set it up, so he's probably ballsed it up, Terry.
I advertised this an hour ago. Because I have a life, man.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of your life,
I could have done it last night, and I'm just a serial procrastinator. So my apologies, Terry. I will be more on the ball next time. I won't be, but I'll say that now.
Speaking of your life, James, I can't help but notice that good old SM. She's not responding to Fuzzy. Can we be friends? Fuzzy, it looks like you binge awkward Fuzzy.
She's probably not watching anymore. She tunes in for the first minute or something, says hi, and then dips out, which I don't blame her.
Yeah. I do the same. She's just not keen on Fuzzy. I mean,
possibly.
I don't
How
think
could
that
you not be
possible.
keen on Fuzzy?
Yeah, I don't think that is possible.
Yeah.
SM, you need to kind of get yourself back in the good books here, mind, and get a.
That's it. Losing brownie points.
Yeah. Oh, she's here. She is here. She just doesn't want to be friends with Fuzzy. Let's move on.
Fair enough.
James, excited!
This is great news. Yeah. So we're a third Gremlins 3 effectively has been announced. Christopher Columbus we haven't heard directing. No, he didn't direct the first 2 anyway, though. He's produced them, but he's writing this one. That's right, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Who's the? You do that a lot. I feel.
I do.
You just nod along and just go, just an agreement.
Yeah.
And then I wait.
Most of the time, I don't understand what you're saying. I have to be honest.
Just potatoes, isn't it?
Yeah. All I hear is Lucky Charms and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah.
We have talked pretty extensively about the Gremlins series on the channel. We also have I'll Be Right Back on Gremlins 1 and 2 if you want to check that out. We also have a compilation video of the 2 of them, so you don't have to click out and click back in. So check that out if you want to. But we talked about what we kind of want to see from a third film in there. But I just love the vibe.
What are you saying that? You love the vibe. What do you think they're gonna? What do you know? Because we kind of guess. What do you want them to go with this? Do you want them to go borderline kind of family horror, like I would say Gremlins 1 was, or just batshit crazy, which Gremlins 2 was?
Well, I think you do what, like these kind of movies, these like it's a legacy sequel is what we're getting effectively.
Yeah.
You always go back to the first one, isn't it? So I think we'll go back to that kind of kid horror vibe. Yeah. But those movies have like an edge. Like they are in a weird in between that we don't really get anymore. Like it's a kind of verging on 15s, but it's like 12s kind of are like, so like they could go either way. They could make it more kid friendly. I would really be upset with that. I want a bit of edge. I want a bit of some deaths in it, and I think like Gremlins go wild. Do you think we'll get like a Trump Gremlin and stuff like that? I can imagine we'll get some funny shit.
I don't know. I honestly don't. I've lost the will to live looking at the American stuff these days because they all seem to be pro Trump. Do you know what I mean? It
is wild. Isn't
have you seen these Hollywood task force he's now got?
No.
With bloody Sly Stallone, what do you call him? Angelina Jolie's dad. John Voight, because he was obviously a massive Trump supporter, and there's somebody else who's like been banging the Trump. It's just like, oh, for God's sake. Yeah. Anyway, Terry is saying,
I hope Joe Dante directs this though.
Who? Sorry,
Joe Dante, who did the first 2. I hope he comes back for this as well.
I mean, I'm just excited to see more in the Gremlins universe. To be honest, I've told you before, we've talked about it in here before. There's a great comic book just called Gremlin, which basically takes the idea of the gremlin as creatures and pits them throughout time. So the comic series is based in World War II, and it's the gremlins attacking kind of.
Is that all the guy that writes it? Is that all the conventions?
Yeah, it's the guy.
I was talking to him for like 20 minutes and then didn't buy it.
I know it was very upsetting. He thought he had a sale.
He thought he had a sale exactly for like 20 minutes. He's talking about. I was like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. There you go. I was like, oh, £25. I'm like, oh. I think I'll come back.
I believe what you said was, well, actually, Peter bought it, so I'll just read his. Wasn't it something along those lines?
I didn't say that to him.
No, you said it to me.
Yeah. But also, like, I'm not going to read it. Like, you know.
I can't read. Yeah, Christopher Columbus is currently directing the movie remake of one Richard Osman's books. Spielberg is producing. Very cool.
Right.
That's right, Fuzzy. Mel Gibson. It's the holy trinity of Trump supporters in it. Are going to be the Hollywood.
That's funny, because like he's like, isn't he super Christian? He did like Passion of the Christ, and he's doing the Resurrection one now.
Yeah, but Trump's like Jesus, isn't he? Apparently. He
is the most immoral man to ever exist.
Yeah.
Let's not get political.
Yeah. Were you not seeing an earlier video, you two, to leave Gremlins alone? We're ironic. Do you know what I mean? We change our minds. But
I don't believe so, Terry. But it's possible, because I'm pretty sure you could do a little compilation of us saying something, saying we saw something, and later on saying we didn't see it. We've never seen it. It's entirely possible. But like, in my heart of hearts, I think like I'd be excited about new Gremlins and do something. You could do something cool with it. Like,
I would have probably said never, do another Beetlejuice, and I would have been right, I suppose. But well,
it's only worthwhile if it's good.
Yeah.
So like, you could do a new one and shit, and then you should have left it alone.
Ambassador to Hollywood. That's right. Yeah. He's in Trump speak. Absolutely. Yeah. Okie dokie. Moving on. Oh shit in hell.
I'm getting kind of sick of this shit, man. This whole public domain thing. I've only watched one or two of these, and I'm just sick to death of it. So this is our first look. This is from the Steamboat Willie movie, one of several, I think, Steamboat Willie movies that are coming out. Now, if I remember right, I think this is the one where we even had this as like the thumb for one of the shows when this was announced. Mm-hmm. And it looked like it was going to be a little CG Steamboat Willie. Like the back of him is like accurate to the cartoon.
Yeah, that was it was just like a mock-up of the artwork, wasn't it?
But I assume that was what they're like. But this is just a fucking guy. It's one, not just a guy. It's David Howard Thornton, who I'm a big fan of, who plays Arsh the clown in the Terrifying movies. He's actually coming to that Dublin horror.
Oh, is he?
They just announced him today as the first guest. So I'm like, oh, he's doing a Arsh photo op or something like that. I'll go this is just fucking weird though. Like, what is this? It's just a weird rat man.
It's fucking awful.
It's terrible.
It just looks awful. I'm really disappointed. You obviously haven't looked ahead on the slides, have you? I'm really disappointed that you're upset and sick of public domain stuff, because guess what? We're topic for the end of the night is.
We've done that already.
Oh, we're doing it again.
We should make a list so that we know.
Nice to see you, Jeff. Hope you're well. Cat Person. No, I ain't seen that one. You ain't seen Cat Person.
No, that was the one I talked about the other week.
Yeah,
Jeff made us watch it, and
you said it was good, didn't you? Didn't you?
It was very good. It's about like texting relationships and kind of how people might not be who they say they are.
Is it off Netflix now? Then is it?
It's gone off Netflix now. It might be on something else.
I'll check it out
for you. It's worth watching. It's good.
Yeah. Fuzzy's desperate for friends tonight. Desperate.
Oh, friend.
Yeah. So that's Steamboat. Nicky
Steamboat Willie.
Awful, just awful.
Yeah. Speaking
of, and then awful, I don't know what I think of this either.
Like, it's just like, I go back to Steamboat Willie, right? You just look, because you look at that, and like, I know he's wearing the clothes and stuff, but it's just unrecognizable. It doesn't look anything like him. So what's the point of doing like that? I wouldn't look at that and say, oh, that's Steamboat Willie. No. I don't look at this and say, oh, that's Captain Hook.
Yeah.
So this is from Neverland Nightmare. So it's the Peter Pan, like, public domain horror movie. And it's just like, it's just unrecognizable. Like, if you're gonna like do a pirate, do like a weird ghost pirate thing. Why is this?
Yeah. I'm just looking at the hook hand as well. Yeah. I mean, it's like minimal effort, isn't it? They're not even pretending glove with the hook. Yeah, they're not even pretending his hands can put on. Literally just,
I don't know if like that's supposed to be part of the charm, but it's just terrible, just awful.
Fuzzy believes Popeye will save all.
Oh, that looked terrible too, man.
Not convinced. So yeah, And again, I might be missing out. Tell us if I'm missing out. But I've not watched any of these things. I've not watched any of the Blood and Honeys and all that kind of stuff. Even though people have said, mind that Blood and Honey #2 is meant to be quite a good film.
Yeah. I don't know. I have not seen it. I saw the first one. The first one was dog shit. Like, just not even enjoyable. Just bad. Oh, there was a bad horror movie I watched that I didn't put in the slides. I'll save it for next time. Jeff knows what I'm talking about. We watched one together. I've lost my train of thought now. What was I saying? Of course.
You just said it was just bad. You said the first one was dog shit.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The first one was dog shit, but I think the second one is just good in comparison. It's not like actually good on its own merits. I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Jeff's saying he's both excited to see Wolfman. I was, and then I saw some of the reviews, and I was like, oh.
It's getting like 7s and stuff, so like it's not bad.
I know, but you know what my attention span's like? People have been saying it's like an hour and a half of them in the house. If that's filled with tension, fair enough, but it's got the opportunity, the potential to be just a bit long, drawn out and dull.
And like another movie we're talking about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on. You know what I mean? So I tell you, I am more excited. And again, we're going to talk about this in a bit. I'm more excited about the monkey. I think that's got potential to be fantastic.
Very different. We'll talk about it in a minute, but different vibe than I was expecting from it. Like
Fuzzy saying a 7's a generous 5. That's very true, Fuzzy. Very true.
I think once you have a movie, it's already a 4. Do you know what I mean? As long as it's like an actual complete movie, and then you just get brownie points for anything good in it. Like if there's a couple of good things, it's a 5. You know, if it's like, oh, you might enjoy this if you're drunk, it's a 6. You know?
I mean, you've blown my brain there with with the Keegan rating-ometer. You're basically saying any movie automatically gets a 4, regardless of how shite it is. If they've bothered to record it, you just said 4.
No,
Terry,
4.
Terry, check it out. Terry, go back and rewind. You said any movie gets a 4, didn't you?
No, there's a handful of movies I would say are a 3 or lower.
So now you're changing your mind. Terry's
I just did it within a sentence, within a breath. I didn't even take a breath between those statements. No, but you know what I mean? Like, because I know I did film in college and made short films, and there's a lot of work, you know. And you can like think something's going to be good, and then just not. That's the movie. Final Scream. I will get a slide for. Yeah, but that's barely a movie, I think. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess what we're saying is that you're talking shite. You can't just see. I mean, you've literally just contradicted yourself twice.
What's a movie you would say is like a 2 out of 10? Oh,
I would have to have a bit of it. I can't just pluck one out of my mind. Oh, I can. I can give you a 1 out of 10. I bet you're going to guess what it is. That dog shit you made us watch. The one with the bloke
filmed well. It's an interesting idea. It's got some good kills. That's even if you hate that movie, it's a 4.
It is not a 4.
Absolutely.
Nah.
For me, it's like a
Jeff, me and Jeff. You see,
Jeff didn't like it either. It's like a Joker 2. Oh, Joker 2 is like a 5.
The fuzzy means 3 at the first Joker. The fuzzy scale only goes to 5
fuzzes. Fair enough. Yeah. In a Violent Nature for me is like an 8.5. Like that's a.
Because you're insane. Let's move on. We're gonna fall out. Yeah. I've added this slide. This is I don't know. We've talked about this before. You're a fan of Grimm? Have you heard of Grimm?
Never seen it.
So Grimm was a TV series a couple of years back. Really, really interesting premise.
CW.
I don't know. I don't think it was CW.
No.
Can't remember who did it. But interesting premise about this guy who's a policeman in America, and basically he turns out to be what's called a Grimm, which is descendants whose job it is to hunt and kill all the world's monsters. And I think it's his stuff. I think it's his mother or his gran or something. I think it's his mother turns up and kind of on his birthday or whatever gives him the Grimm manual and a caravan full of Grimm weapons and all this kind of stuff. Nice. And then when that happens, he basically he can see Grimms. He can see the monsters. So the creatures, hexen beasts and things like that, are all around you at all times. Just normal people can't see them. But when he looks at them, the faces appear as the monsters.
Okay. Sort of like a They Live kind of thing, is it?
Yeah, really cool series, great concept. His best friend turns out to be a werewolf. So there's a whole kind of side of that, which is really interesting. It just was a cracking little series, really. This is the news that apparently they're going to make for TV, so it's not a cinema thing, but they're going to make a live action movie of Grimm. Now, it doesn't say whether it's continuing on these characters in terms of this particular Grimm's story, or if it'll be like a new introduction to the franchise or whatever.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm really, really up for it. I think Grimm was an excellent little series. Really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is cool. Terry's saying Grimm's excellent. Is it coming back? Yeah, Terry's a movie, like I say.
Do you know who's like with the production?
Nah,
what's
it's just being announced.
On there?
Yeah, this didn't do it for me. Never got into it. Felt like a poor version of Penny Dreadful. Penny Dreadful was really good at the time as well.
I love Penny Dreadful, but I'm a stan for Eva.
Yeah,
Green. Eva Green. She's like one of the most beautiful women in the world. So
Penny Dreadful was great. Had some good seasons, and then they did like a follow-on, which was set in New Orleans or something.
I think so.
And that didn't do it for us, I have to say.
Yeah.
We've got the main man himself, Efren. What's happening, Efren?
Hey.
Well? Grimm was on NBC. It was an awesome show. Yeah.
Just to let you know, it's Peacock.
Peacock.
So it'll have a decent budget and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's an interesting little story. So keen to see what goes on with that. What's this, Mr. Keegan?
So the CGI in Alien. Why is the subtitle escape from me? Romulus, yes. So if you've seen Alien Romulus, you know that this character from the original movie, who's played by the late great Ian Holm, shows up in it, and he's like a weird looking CG like face, just like a pretty bad CG face. So they've cleaned it up for the streaming release, I believe, of the movie. They've gone in and retroactively fixed it, so it looks a bit better now.
It's interesting that, but for me, I have to say, I can't remember. You know what I'm like for bad CGI? It really winds us up. Yeah. I can't remember this really bothering us that much, and I think part of that is because in my head, he's a robot. He's a synthezoid, so he shouldn't look human in some regard. I don't know. Maybe I've kind of glossed over it in memory of the film, but I don't remember it really bothering us that much in the movie, to be honest.
It didn't bother me. I was taken aback that this character is in it.
Yeah.
I don't think it bothered me. I think I had that same kind of justification of like, oh, he's not actually human, so it doesn't really matter because he's spewing out this white blood and shit like that. But I think there was a couple of moments where it's like, oof, that looks a bit rough. So like, it's like Disney Plus has come to Disney Plus, so I think they've cleaned it up for the Disney Plus release of the movie. Well, how do you feel about like going back and fixing things in films, like if there's some shoddy CGI?
I think sometimes sometimes it's too late. The horse is already bolted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes it does the movie a disservice. I mean, I would use some of the Star Wars movies for that. You know, the CGI Jabba 100%. Takes away the love of it. Really,
that's just someone going wild, though. I think if you have like a bad effect to fix up that effect, one thing I really wanted them to do was go back to Avengers and swap out the character model for Thanos at the end of that.
Yeah,
and make it look like that'd be cool.
Do like it when they went back for the end. Sorry, the Star Wars ones, when they went back and inserted kind of like the Anakin and things like that into the Force Ghosts at one point, didn't they?
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty cool.
Tied all together, like I like that too.
Fuzzy's just saying it hits Disney Plus 2 days ago. Yep. Terry's saying, is it worth watching? I enjoyed it, Terry. I think so. It's good. It's a good addition.
I would say it's probably the third best Alien film. Yeah. So you have Alien Romulus.
Fuzzy, his ears are very low on his head. I think that's just where your headphones are sitting, James. It's making your ears look strange.
Do you know what? When he said that, that's what I thought. I thought he was talking about me as well, and I glanced at myself.
No, I see what you mean, Fuzzy. He has got an odd-shaped head. Evening, peeps. We've got Sean. Nice to see you are well. I honestly thought this was just average. Not sure why it didn't resonate with me. I enjoyed elements of it. I love the world building. I love the fact that we saw the Wayland Corporation kind of how disruptive it was to the universe, as it were.
Yeah, the mining planet and what the people are going through and stuff. Was really
cool. Some good sections in it, some good battles, but it's still not a patch on Alien or Aliens for me.
I think
it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
I'd really hype it because I thought the trailers were stunning. Yeah. I love Fede Alvarez directs, and I love Fede Alvarez. So like going into it, I was like, this is going to be the best fucking thing ever, and it was like pretty good. So like I was kind of a bit disappointed by it, even though it was a good movie.
I wanted them to lean more into the horror.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In the trailer, you're right. There were some scenes with face huggers, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be amazing.
It
but when you watch the film, it was like, oh,
yeah, it doesn't have the oomph in the cinema,
Yeah.
which is important. I think maybe part of that is I think they just showed too much in the trailers.
yeah,
as well.
in the trailer. 28 years later.
So there was a whole. I just assumed, that it was confirmed that Cillian Murphy was in this movie and everything. That I thought he was the main character in this. He's not in it apparently at all.
Yeah.
So there's a whole when the trailer came out.
He's not in the first movie. There's a trilogy.
Not the first movie. So there's 3 movies. He's apparently going to be in the second film onwards. But I'm a bit surprised by this because I don't know why. I just assumed because it was Danny Boyle coming back.
Let's be honest. He is going to be in the first movie, isn't he?
He'll be at the
I
end.
mean, it's going to be that's the teaser for the next movie, surely.
Yeah, I think so. But like, it is funny that like everybody had, like we went wild over the zombie and that like, oh, that's Cillian Murphy's character. And it's like he's just a gaunt looking.
I mean, it's slightly offensive. If you're him, absolutely. You must be a little bit upset.
I would imagine.
So. Look like that? Do you know what I mean?
He is a thin guy. Do you know, like he's got that Tommy Shelby gaunt look to him. So like, yeah.
Fuzzy post-credit scene, absolutely fuzzy. That's what I think. That'll be the who quoted for the end of the movie. Still excited for this. We've talked about it a few times. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be a fun one, I think. Sean saying he's apparently signed up for a bigger role in the follow-up to this. Yeah. I think this will be. I think it'll be teased first one, and then big appearance for second and possibly third. Welcome to Derry. Starting to make a bit of pace, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's this year. We should be getting we haven't even gotten like a full trailer for this. We've only gotten like clips and like some show reels and stuff like that. But there has been some news. So Andy Muschietti, who directed the It films, who I believe he's the showrunner in this, but he created this series anyway. He's confirmed that there's going to be 3 seasons. And that each one is a different cycle of Pennywise, so it goes backwards. So this one is set in, I think, I'll just double check the actual dates, but it goes back to like 1908 is the third season.
That'll be cool. That'll be very
so I'd imagine you're doing like, we'll see the real Pennywise, the dancing clown character that like ish morphed off of. And so like I think we'll probably have Bill Skarsgård as the main actor of season 3, which will be really cool, I think. How'd you feel about this, Amir?
I can't wait. I mean, I loved the first one. The second one, I still thought was pretty good, but disappointing. I think overall the story is your typical Stephen King story. It suffers a bit for the end. You know, the lead up to the ends are normally much better than the actual payoff a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Almost every horror movie has
that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this, and I love Skarsgård, so I think this will be an enjoyable show, hopefully.
So it's 1962. It's the first season, so that's the cycle before the movies. And then you go, the second season going to be 1935, and then 1908. So like America 1908, that's almost like, where's Derry supposed to be in, like Maine, isn't it?
Something like that.
Would you have like a bit of like an old Western
kind of feel, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds really cool.
We'll have to ask Efren what it was like back then. I can't remember, so he'll let you know.
But yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I'm curious though, like if there will be like an old character in season 1, and we'll see them younger.
Yeah, it'll go back.
And that kind
That'll
of
be
thing,
cool.
You know, like,
That'll be cool.
Yeah. So like,
looking forward to it.
Yeah,
looking forward. It should be good. You're squeezing more of this cack in, aren't you?
This is sad. So the Friday 13th game.
Video games. There's a horror channel, man. Video games.
Yeah, it's a horror video game, you fucking knob. I don't shiver my timbers reading a fucking comic book, but a game can scare you, man. You know?
That escalated quickly, didn't it? Wow.
Sorry.
Gonna clip that one. That's a short.
Yeah. You are familiar that there's a Friday the 13th video game, though, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, so this came out in like 2017 or something like that. So it was very popular. Came out for a couple of years. It's like one of those asymmetric things. So like one person plays Jason and the rest play camp counselors, and you have to kind of try and escape. So I think in like 2020 we went on very popular for a couple of years, and then there was like a rights issue, and they had to shut down like support for the game. So it's a live service game, so they were adding new things as you went on, and they stopped support, but the servers remained up. And the service shut down on the 1st of January. So at midnight on New Year's Eve. or New Year's Day. Server shut down, so the game is done. You can't play it anymore. I think there's like an offline mode, so like you can go and play with bots if you want to, but you can't actually like play with other people anymore. So I jumped on. I heard about this like the day before. I actually, funny enough, I downloaded it a couple months ago, and I didn't even realize the servers were still on. So I had to go over it. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'll come back to this. And then when I heard that this was shutting down, like it was like I think earlier that day I'd heard about it. I jumped on for another game. It's like it was cool. It's a shame that like what happened, because I think this had a really bright future if it hadn't been for the rights issues. This would still be going strong now.
All I can focus on when you're talking is trying to work out where a hand is.
It's clipping through his arm, I'd imagine. It was a budget game, man. You know, like it was. That license is expensive. Yeah. No, it was cool. It had like some jank, but it was a cool experience.
That's even Efren's giving you
uncharacteristically rude. That was, I think, for Efren. I
think it was bang on, Efren. Bang on me. Let's talk about comics, because you like
fucking comic books. I'm so scared.
So this is Feral. This is by Tony Fleece, the writer of Stray Dogs, which was absolutely phenomenal. This is his ongoing series. I read the first couple of issues of this and then put it down because I thought, wasn't doing it for us. We did a comic show a couple of nights ago and we mentioned Feral, and I thought, you know what, I'll pick it up again and I'll give it another go. Andy, nice to see you. Hope you're well, bud. So I thought I would give it another go just to give it a chance. Nah, it's just not for me. It's just, I see what they're doing. He's very much trying to make this the Walking Dead of kind of animal-based comics, I guess. It's almost like he's trying to write a TV series. Do you know what I mean? To pick up on some of that Walking Dead goodness.
Yeah.
But the dialogue and the conversations between the cats just does nothing for us. So I gave it another go. I think I can put this one to rest and say not for me. On the other hand, this one, it's like, you think about him and Andy appears. Andy recommended this one a little while ago on the Killer Comic Show. This is You Won't Feel a Thing, part of the Distillery comic line. Andy was obviously gushing over it because it's got artwork by Jock, which is Andy's favourite artist, written by Scott Snyder. I wasn't particularly interested in this because I have to say Distillery books so far haven't really floated my boat. I absolutely love this. I absolutely loved it. This has got movie written all over it. James, I know you're a big fan of Longlegs. This is Longlegs on page, really.
Okay.
It's so creepy, and the base, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because there's lots of twists and turns, and my only negative is I'm really, really hoping I haven't guessed what the twist is, because I kind of think I've seen something coming, but I'm hoping that they're going to catch us out on it. But basically, the premise is you've got a retired detective who's living in a nursing home. He's got a massive brain tumor, and he's got months to live, basically. And he does an exercise with his kind of support assistant called the Doors. So basically, you'll say, right, James, when you were 21, what was behind the door of your bedroom or whatever, and you've got to describe what was in that room, and it's designed to try and make your brain keep active and remember and stuff. And because of that process, you get flashbacks to his past and flashbacks to cases he's worked on and stuff, all of which includes the death of his girlfriend at the hands of what he describes as the Chattery Man, which is a serial killer that kills potentially, the thing, up to 30 victims, knocks the teeth out, and then makes a mask out of all of his victims' teeth. And the book ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. It's so well written. Please forgive us, Andy, I'm not a massive Jock fan, but the artwork in this book perfectly suits the story. It's just a really, really, really cool read. I'll definitely be picking this up as a trade paperback. Let's just see what we've got in the chat. Bit like how I feel with banana shots. Love a good banana shot. Jock lives near me, or at least he used to. Send Andy's address. Well, Andy's probably already got his address. I even bought the risque cover of this. Bare breasts, unbelievable.
Just for the collection, the completionist in you, Fuzzy. That wasn't the reason.
Fuzzy, page 3 of this, and you say foof, full on foof, full on jock detail foof. Yeah. Coincidentally, this is what Comic Deal tells Sean. Fuzzy, I'll be honest, Peter isn't making it sound that exciting. It's very cool, mate. It is very cool. If you like crime and serial killers and that kind of Silence of the Lambs kind of stuff, it's very good. Foof, that's what we call them in my household. I'm referring.
I've adopted that word now because
Yeah.
I've never heard it before either, and now
Lady
that's
parts.
why I refer to
Lady
it as
parts.
lady parts as foofs.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was subscribed, you would subscribe.
Very fair.
Foof. Yeah, I can't believe you never heard of it as referred to as a
No,
foof.
I until we did the first Omen, I'd never heard someone say foof before.
Foof and a wigglem.
I love it. It's the
Do you
perfect
use
word for it, I think.
do you
'Cause
use
it's like
wigglem?
kind of in it. What?
Wigglem?
Wigglem?
You wigglem? That's your penis.
No.
James. Wigglem and a foof. Yeah, that's that's.
Yeah.
Waiting on issue 9 of the Deviant. Yeah, I love that series, but it feels like it's forever since we've seen the last issue. Can't wait to see it. Peter's getting a kick in the foof. Yeah. Okie dokie. Action figures. Now, we did talk about this last month, but I put it back on because we've now got some more details. It's by Kent O Pro Series figures. I have never heard of them, so just be wary of that.
These are all the same. They're all like three.
Yeah, it's all the same company. They just changed the names.
Yeah.
The reason I put it back on is because what's the clown thing called again? Is it
Billy the puppet?
Billy the puppet. I hadn't appreciated when we first saw it. He's fully articulated, so it's an actual little action figure, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is going to set you back $300 for the set.
For two figures though.
Yeah, but I think it's risky when it's a company that we don't know, has never really been heard of. So sometimes these can just kind of disappear. So yeah, just in case anyone's interested in that one. This got us interested. Companies are now selling
that is it, Pete.
AI robot girlfriend for $175K. There's a video of it talking. It doesn't go into detail about what bits it's got. Foofs and things like that.
You don't need to ask, Pete. You know damn well.
Yeah. Now you might be asking, James. You might be asking us why am I showing you this on a horror channel? Yeah, look what it looks like with its mask off.
Oh,
Fuck me! Can you imagine lying down in bed and its faces? That's what's. Look at the gum work on it, man. Look at the gum work.
Do you think, like when whoever buys these things are banging them, that one of them like does this as a kink, like they just whip off the face? That's what they want.
Yeah,
that's 50 Dicky. I kind of want to see it moving though, with that like that.
I bet you do, pervert.
Yeah, I think I've said before, and I will confirm that when they perfect this, like I mean, it's end of humanity. I think genuinely, like people will just not people won't care anymore about because like AI, it can think itself effectively. Like it's not just 6 or 7 random phrases. What are you laughing at?
Andy saying no wonder we don't do a show together. Yeah. Jeez, no. Yeah, I mean,
let's just go back. Like it looks like a doll, yeah. But like when that looks like a real person, and it talks like a real person, like the women are fucked. Like,
well,
no, they won't be anymore. Literally, because the problem. Like, yeah. This will be a thing. This will be a big thing. This will be like I think in the 40s, like the 2040s. This will be the big leap that we take that decade.
Yeah. I don't know.
$175,000 is a bit pricey though. Most people can afford that. When they get down to like 10, because you probably spend more than 10 on your partner over like a 10-year period.
I can't believe how much thought you're really giving this. I hope Shaz isn't watching anymore.
I'm forward thinking. She better watch out.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about some trailers. Talk about some trailers, James. Now. I know you are a big fan of this franchise. We're going to get into it. I'm just going to start off by saying this blew my socks off. So tell me a little bit what this is.
So this is Until Dawn. So this is from PlayStation Productions. This is based on a video game that I'm a massive fan of, to the extent that I will turn my brightness up. That poster above my door is an Until Dawn poster. So I love this franchise. I say franchise is one game. And then they did like a VR kind of rail shooter thing, and then they did a VR prequel as well. So, but like, there's only one Until Dawn game. So effectively in the game, it's like your classic slasher setup. These group of teenagers go to this mansion in the kind of snowy mountains, and there's like a killer kind of going around. There's like some ghost stuff happening. There's like a weird figure in the woods. There's like a monster kind of element to it as well. And you're like you're making decisions, and every decision you make can impact the story, and characters can potentially die from that. So that's the basic of the game. So you can make it to the end with like everybody can die, or you can make it with 4 characters out of 6, or all of them can survive depending on the choices that you make. So what the movie has done here, it's effectively adopted that, like the experience that the player goes through, for the characters. So it's a time loop movie where they go through a cycle and they all die, and then they wake up again, and they have like, I think they said there's a limited amount. There might be 13 cycles they can do, and they have to make it until dawn to make it out. It's a pretty big deviation, I think, from the game, because the characters aren't aware that they're in a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, unlike other games, like most games you play, you die, you restart. Whereas in Until Dawn, if a character dies, the story continues on. So it's one of the few examples of a game where death is permanent. But in the movie, it's the characters get to try again. So I think that's an odd choice. It's very outside the box, but I'm digging it. I think it looks really cool.
I thought the trailer was amazing, proper horror. This bit with the thing coming out of her cheek freaked me out no end. That was just horrible. But there was a bit in I think it was in the kind of the teaser trailer. My dogs are going crackers downstairs. And there was a bit in the teaser trailer at the start where it said something along the lines of every time they die, it's like starting a new horror franchise. So I'm hoping we're going to get like each round will be a different kind of creature, attack, or monster or something.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, because like in the game, and like this isn't the exact story of the game. Like in the game, it's like a snowy mountains, different characters and stuff. And I think they've said that this is in the same universe, and they're expanding the like mythology of it, which is interesting because you're introducing time loops into that world that doesn't exist in. So that's interesting. But in the game, like all those different things are weaved together like in one storyline. Whereas in this, it just seems like they've reset, and it's like, oh, here's a different random thing. So I'm curious how in the story that works. Like there's a couple of like the killer in this is very similar to the one in the game. The Wendigo things are in the trailer as well. So do you know what it's giving me vibes of? It's giving me real Cabin in the Woods kind of vibes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got from it. Yeah. And I think, we talked about CGI earlier and stuff. Some of the monster effects in this look really interesting and really cool. Like I say, Fuzzy's saying this image is giving him the gip. I've got a thing about things wriggling under your skin, and I think it comes from watching the original Poltergeist movie at too young of an age, when he eats the maggot-infested chicken leg, and then the maggots are in his face and stuff. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, not for me.
It's like there's different things. Like there's a witchy kind of character in this that's not in the game. There seems to be like a giant kind of monster, a giant like a kaiju thing in the woods or something like that. So that looks really interesting. I think the consensus that I've seen, like I've looked at comments of what people think of this, and I feel sort of the same. Is it looks like a really cool, fun horror movie, but it's maybe like just a little bit removed from what Until Dawn is, because I think this is going to retcon the game. And I know like that's a problem that
You're going to do the nerd thing again, man. We're going to have the same shit with Uncharted. Just go in and watch it as a movie and see what you think of it from that perspective.
Okay. But you know what I mean? They're breaking the universe. You know what I mean?
I mean, dramatic. You mean what do you mean the break and the universe?
Like if you want to see a Superman, it's hard to use comics as an example because fucking everything in comics is multiverses and shit like that. But like in this, if this is in the same universe as the game, then they've introduced like effectively time travel stuff. Like in the game, the characters aren't aware that they've died before. They don't die before because you're just doing a new playthrough. Like you're making different decisions, and like some of the characters will survive that time. But like the characters don't know that, and like there is an out I could give it is that there's a collectible in the game called Totems, where you find it and it gives you like a 3-second kind of flash at something. So like if you find a black totems are a death. So it'll show you like, oh, this character opens a red door and gets stabbed. So I know if I come across a red door, don't open it because I'll get stabbed. So you can use that to inform, but the characters don't know that. That's something for the player, so it's weird to like outside the box.
All I know, Mr.
But
Keith,
it's interesting.
All I know is I watched this trailer and it got us excited to go and see the film. The more I've listened to you talk about the game, the more my brain's hurting, and I'm thinking, can I be arsed with this? So
Okay.
I think
we're going to play the game on the channel before this comes out. Yeah. You have to buy it on your PC.
Do I? Oh,
yeah.
right.
And then I'll guide you through it effectively. We'll do like it'll be a long form. It's like five hours or something like that, but we'll do it We'll do it in 3 like chunks or something like that. We'll do 3 episodes.
Do you know how good I am? I haven't got 5 hours of gameplay in us, man.
Man, you do about 100 hours of streaming a week. You can spare 5 fucking hours.
That. Do you know what I mean?
You can spare 5 hours to play a video game with us.
Thursday nights are free, so yeah.
Listen,
anyway,
I'm excited about it. I am excited about this. I think this will be really good. It's David Sandberg who did Lights Out and Annabelle Creation. So he's Annabelle Creation. I think so. So he's a fantastic horror director. So I am confident this will be good, like very good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me the film, I'm hoping it's going to be really good. I think we'll come at it with very different views because me having not played the game.
Well, you will have at that point.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's a character in this that is like Peter Stormare. He's the same character, but he's different. Like he's a psychologist in the game, but in this he's like a truck stop guy.
He played the devil in Constantine.
Yes. So he's from the video game. So I don't know if is he like a watcher or something like that. I think that's probably what they're going for. Like, I think this is going to retcon the game where the game was a time loop as well. I think that's my guess. And you can have the game has a really great cast like Hayden Panettiere, isn't it? Rami Malek, Brett Dalton. You can have some of them show up in this potentially, like at the end or something like that. I think this is going to be a big franchise. I think this is going to be really popular, and we'll get like multiple of these and some more video games and stuff. So I'm excited for Until Dawn getting like it's an underappreciated game. I feel so. I'm happy it's getting like more eyes on it. It's
an exciting idea for a movie, so I am looking forward to that.
And I love a time loop. I love a good time loop movie.
Yeah, Happy Death Day is one of my favorites.
Exactly. Yeah,
I thought we're getting the third one of them.
Yes,
I did talk about it, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's the heart. He did Hard Eyes next. That's coming out next.
Did what?
Heart Eyes.
Heart Eyes. Yeah.
And then he's gone back and doing, I think.
Okie dokie. So yeah, this has got you excited for the game side of things. Got me excited for the movie side of things. Hopefully, it'll tick both of our boxes, and it'll be a cracking little watch. Yeah. Looking forward to it. C4 Darkman is saying, have you watched the Megan Fox film about this? She's talking about the sex bot robot things. Don't think I have. Have you seen that?
I've seen some. I've skimmed it.
I've seen some dirty boy. Yeah. Megan Fox. Haven't seen her much for long. She's in Transformers, aren't you? Until Dawn is amazing. Not sure the movie is going to do it justice. So Sean agrees with you, James. I'm glad you pointed out that poster nobody can see.
I'm just you don't need to see it. It's shiny and reflective anyway. I'm just pointing that it's there.
I know this is a horror themed show, but I'm interested in James's thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. Oh no, yeah, I'm not. Is there a Switch 2 coming out?
I was just announced yesterday.
Thomas has got a Switch, I think. That's the handheld one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you can dock it to the television. Yeah,
I
don't really have an opinion on it. They've not shown any gameplay or anything like that, so I'll see how powerful it is. I don't have a Switch anyway. Never been a big Nintendo guy. But we'll see.
I'm not a Nintendo guy. You've got you have Man of Medan, Lost Hope, made by the same creators, same type of games as Until Dawn.
Yeah, so they did Until Dawn is published by Sony PlayStation, and then they went to Bandai Namco and they did a thing called the Dark Pictures Anthology. So there's like Sean Ashmore from the X-Men movies is in one of them. There's a few different ones, Man of Medan, Lost Hope, and then they did 3 of those, I think, and then they did another game called The Quarry, and it's like Ted Raimi's in it, David Arquette's in it.
I think you've talked about that one before.
Yeah, so they've done that as well. So that's Supermassive Games is the studio, but yeah, they're not involved in this movie. And I'd imagine we'll probably get a sequel from another team like after this one. Because I think this will be probably the highest grossing horror movie of the year, I would think. Okay. Maybe 28 years later is above.
We'll see. Fuzzy saying, ask Simon and he's a proper gaming expert. Oh God. Is he not in Japan? That pic gives us the gip. Yep. Ugh. Why does she have a snot around her cheek? It does look mank-mind, doesn't it?
Some kind of demon worm or something like that.
The game is jumpy as fuck.
There's a lot of jump scares in it. Sorry, another thing I think that's really cool about this idea is that we're going to get like 20, 30 kills in it because we're going to see all the characters die in multiple different ways. So that's really fun, I think, element as well.
Absolutely. And that's sometimes my moan with some of the horror films we go and see, that there's not enough or we see all the death and dying in the trailer. I hope it's not like, what was that one we slaughtered when we were talking about the other day? Tarot, where you saw I think pretty much every kill in the trailer. And Trap to an extent. We saw all the kills in Trap really.
I would say there's some surprises in here. And David Sandberg's such a good, like Lights Out's incredible. So I think we have a good movie here.
It's a love bite from James.
That's it.
James doesn't bite; he nibbles. I'm not getting back into YouTube. You're going to do the nerd thing from the guy who cried because the Thundercat had a mustache. Absolutely true. Tiger was an absolute disgrace. You're right. Yeah. Sounds like Peter is bullying James.
Like somebody recognizes.
I'll let you know when I bully him. Lols, ding. Fuzzy punch me in the face, please. Yeah, he's still going on about it.
What are you talking about, me and this?
No, I wouldn't imagine so, James.
Okay.
No. Moving on. This looks interesting. This is Presence.
This is very cool. So this is from Steven Soderbergh. Who I don't think he's done a horror movie. Like he's just kind of does like musicals and stuff, doesn't he?
Mm. Yeah, it's not someone I recognize.
Yeah. So this is an interesting concept. This is out, I think, next week. But I'd only heard about this like a couple of weeks ago. But effectively, the movie is from like the POV of a ghost. So it's like the camera is the ghost that's like watching the people. So like it looks very like it could be very, very tense. I think it's like going for a Paranormal Activity kind of thing, but not with the kind of home security camera gimmick.
Yeah. So you know what I'm going to say, because I'm a miserable old fart. I love the sound of it, and I like the idea of it. But I hope it's not like an artsy fartsy. Do you know what I mean? I want to see the ghost doing some stuff, not just. I don't know what I mean by.
You're not going to see the ghost at all, I don't think.
Well, no, that's what I mean. But I want the ghost to affect what's happening around. I didn't get that much of a feel of that from the trailer. I just got a feel of the ghost, you seeing through the ghost's eyes, watching people having a bit of an argument, or watching people sitting in the sitting room.
Well, I think this is going to be more character focused. Like it's obviously like following a family or something like that. So we'll be seeing what their kind of struggles. Like we're seeing them in their private time and that kind of thing. And I think there'll be some hair raising moments. It is a horror movie. So like, yeah. You'll probably get some big bangs later on or something like that, or like it'll take a weird twist towards the end.
It's getting great reviews. I mean, lots of people are saying it's excellent, so I'll give it a go. Definitely give it a go and see what we think. C4 Dark Main said he did the Ocean films. All right. Okay. So yeah, I watched the trailer. I thought the trailer looked interesting. I loved this, James. I thought it was amazing.
I was not. So we got the new trailer, second trailer for The Monkey. This is also out. This is out soon, isn't it? Next month, I think, early next month.
Next couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks, yeah. This trailer took me off guard because I thought this was going to be a really spooky horror movie, and this was really funny. I was laughing the whole time. Like I'm really digging. It's got a kind of zany vibe to it.
I got Final Destination kind of vibes.
There's a Final Destination with humor in it. So it's like I think that sounds really really cool. And like there's a bit of a self awareness to it. Like they know how crazy that the fact that they're talking about a cursed monkey toy. Yeah. It's a fun idea, and they're making a fun movie out of it. I think that's really cool.
I think the concept sounded interesting because I think, like you say, at first, the first time I saw the trailer, it's worth saying this is based on a Stephen King short story, which I've not read, but I thought it was like you've just said, a cursed toy, and it was going to be like the monkey's paw kind of thing. You wish things and things happen. But the second trailer that we've just watched, it gave more of a narrative of it's the same family that this thing's attached to. And I think they make a comment saying it's basically the devil, and he wants the kids to see how evil and how powerful he is. So he just keeps doing stuff.
Everyone they love, killing them.
Yeah.
And
that's quite twisted. I quite like that. I think that sounds interesting.
Just some cool there'll be some cool creative kills. Like I think the movie visually is stunning. Like Oscar Perkins is incredible. Like in the lighting in it and everything. It's really really amazing.
But I think from this trailer, I think C4 Darkman's right. It's a totally different kind of style of trailer. But I was quite surprised at the level of what looks like gore is going to be in it. Yeah. I think it's going to be quite a graphic movie.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This has got us excited.
This might end up being our favorite of the year. I think.
Yeah,
I can see it easily.
Yeah. This one was interesting.
So it's the woman in the yard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Yeah. It's about I thought when the trailer came on for this, I got the trailer for this in front of, I think, Nosferatu. I thought it was a Banshee movie initially. Because like it's like this family live on this farm, and there's this woman in robes that just shows up outside staring at the house all the time. It looks very spooky. It looks very kind of ominous and everything. Like the trailer doesn't show you a huge amount, but like I'm digging the vibes of this.
Yeah, it looked spooky. It looked interesting. I can't tell you what it's about. I can't tell. I've not heard anything about this. What did you keep saying again? It's nearly time, or it's time or something. It's your time or something.
Time's up or something like that.
Time's up or something. Yeah, but I don't know what it's about. So it looks interesting. I'll give it a shot. But yeah, looks pretty cool. These women get everywhere. Woman in the yard, in the back, in the window. Yeah, absolutely. Next is woman in the toilet. I have to say, out of all the trailers we watched tonight and over the last day or two, this one had us intrigued, but I can't say I was excited.
Fair. I'm not as well. I think this will be one that just if I hear it's really good beforehand, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. This could always be one of those came out of nowhere, amazing horror movies, that we get every now and then. So
yeah, we'll see. Fuzzy saying women will be voting next. Watched The Substance last night. What the actual fuck? No, I've not seen it yet, Sean. But James, you liked it, didn't you?
Loved it. I thought that was one of my favorites of the whole year. It's what the fuck. It's very weird.
I'm gonna ask the question. Who did you watch The Substance with? Did you watch it with Jeff and with SM?
No, I went by my lonesome.
Did you really? You sat in the cinema by yourself? Okay.
But no, there was another guy, a bit of a heavy breather, about three seats up from me and like behind.
Nice.
And it was just us two in the cinema, so we're just two dudes watching.
I was only asking. I was only asking. I mean, you've gone into more detail. I was only asking really because I was going to ask SM in the chat what she thought of it, because sometimes I'm aware that your views are different to mine, so I wanted to see where she.
This is winning. The Substance is winning awards and stuff. Like Demi Moore won a gold.
That scares me, but James, because quite often, and again, I know it's me and I'm an old fart, but quite often the more awards. The more awards and the more plaudits things get, the less likely I am to enjoy it, because it's just not for me.
So I'm not really a big body horror guy.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy Cronenberg movies and stuff like that. Really, The Fly may be the exception. I would. We are scary just by being in a yard in a window. Yeah. But I think The Substance, like the tone of it, it's really fun. It's a fun movie. Like it's a good watch. Like it's an easy, like it goes off the wall at the end, but it's like there's a humor to it.
It's on streaming at the moment, I think. So I am going to
check. Please watch it. It's very good. Yeah.
Fuzzy didn't like Sonic 3, but I know he enjoyed Civil War.
Did you see Sonic 3?
Yeah, like some.
We should have done a bloody review where you dressed up in blue.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
I did, and we'll just do a quick side note on Sonic 3. Then I really liked it. I think I had to tell I had to go get security on a toddler.
On a toddler.
Yeah, because it wouldn't shut the fuck up. There's two toddlers wouldn't shut the fuck up the whole movie. So
watching Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I have no shame. I have no shame about it. I don't care. Because, shut the fuck up. The mom should be telling them to shut the fuck up.
When you say toddler, how old are we talking?
Like 4. 2 4-year-olds, probably.
three
4-year-olds and the mom wasn't doing anything. So I was like, once it got scared, you tell them to shut the fuck up. And then he went in and said to the mom, can you tell them to be quiet? And the mom said, you tell them to be quiet. I was like, fucking, what are you doing? Anyway, I really enjoyed the Jim Carrey galvanize dance with the two Jim Carreys. That was the best part of the movie, definitely. Yeah.
We have actually had a blue Sonic Peter where James, bless him, did a Sonic 2 review.
Yes.
And without informing him,
I'm going to get this up now.
I did turn up in full.
I will show everybody this.
So
it was back when I did gaming videos, and we kind of used like adaptations as an excuse to do live shows. So we, for some reason, reviewed Sonic 2. We did like an hour live stream on it, and Peter, without telling me beforehand, showed up dress like. It's making me laugh now.
Say Fuzzy's nose. Fuzzy says it was a visual delight.
Just like that.
James, put that down. Put that down, please. It doesn't look blue. It looks like I'm gonna get struck off.
Yikes! Yeah, that was good. That was really fun though.
It was a good. It was an interesting.
Anyway, back to the horror.
Back to the horror. Yeah. Now, you told us to watch this.
Yes.
I searched all over for it.
My mistake. I said full trailer, but it was actually the release date trailer.
No, it was. So somebody mentioned, I think it might have been Terry mentioned on a show the other day about the new trailer. So I've gone on and looked, and I got about halfway through a trailer, which I thought, oh, this looks really good. And then, do you know when you just have that real? I thought some of this looks like animated, or it looks like really bad CGI. So I went down and read the kind of the comments underneath, and it was partially AI generated. So it wasn't a real trailer. Someone had made bits of a trailer and then AI generate Screen Crush.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, what the shit? So I've gone back on today and tried to find another trailer, and I couldn't find one.
Yeah,
so
it's from 5 or 6 days ago. So they've announced the release date for The Last of Us Part 2. Or The Last of Us Season 2. So it's going to be April, not release date, but the month. It's in April. So it's Until Dawn. So I'd imagine it'll be a couple of weeks before. It'll be mid-April. It's a short one. It's only a few snippets. It focuses more on a new character in this season. It's going to be very big, very big. Yeah, it looks. I mean, again, it's so faithful. There's so many shots. It's just like I know what the scene is. I know what that scene is. But it looks great. There is a scene in that I think gives away a twist. So I don't know if they're going to treat it as a twist in the... It's only if you really analyze it.
Yeah.
Like if you just pause it and go, where is this character? What could they be doing? But I was surprised at that because it is like a big surprise moment kind of midway through the game.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm stoked. This is gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
I'm scared. I'm really scared. I don't know how people react to it, but it's gonna make some fucking amazing conversation. We're gonna have some amazing debates about this story.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait for that one. Can't wait for that one. Terry told you about Superman. He did. Fuzzy, I watched that and it was good. That's right. Yeah, I watched that, Terry. It had some extra scenes in. But again, there were some weird queries about that, Terry. I don't know if you've gone back and looked at some of the images. The scene where he's in the baseball field with what looks like Ultraman. There's an image where he catches Ultraman's hands, and it's weird. Superman's hands, all deformed and podgy. It looks weird. So I don't know about that either. Anyway, moving on. Sinners. Now, I saw this trailer at the pictures when I was watching Nosferatu, and then I watched it again ready for this show. I'm not sure what this is or what it's about, really.
So it's Ryan Coogler, who did the Black Panther films.
Yeah.
So that we I think talked about when this movie was announced, it was going to be a Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler vampire film. So it looks like they play twins, and one of them is the leader of the vampire kind of cult, and the other one is like leading the survivors. Which that's actually a really, I think, interesting, unique.
I feel really dumb here then. So having watched the trailer twice now, I never picked up this was a vampire movie.
It's not really expressly said, but I just know from behind the scenes things that this is a vampire movie.
Well, okay.
Because when they announced it, it's a Ryan Coogler vampire film. Like my assumption, I don't think you see the evil character. I mean, this poster gives it away, but I don't think the trailer actually acknowledges that he's leading the vampires. But yeah, no, it's a vampire movie. It just looks very cool, and I think the story is a really interesting idea. So I'm looking, and I love Michael B. Jordan. He's great.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I mean the trailer looked interesting, but again, it's a one which is probably a good thing. It's a one that I couldn't really tell you what I think the film's going to actually be about. Do you know what I mean? But it got us interested. So yeah, which we'll check that out. Cool. Okay, bit of a review. We have got a review going up on the channel, but this is going to be a spoiler-free review of Nosferatu. Yeah.
We recorded our spoiler one a few days ago. Just haven't had a chance to edit it yet. So we've had a few days to sit on this now, or like a couple. I think it was probably a week or two at this point that I saw it. It's not great. I think a lot. You know what? So many like Bloody Disgusting gave this their horror movie of the year because it technically came out on Christmas in America, so it's a 2024 movie. For us, it's a 2025 movie. I love the combo of Nosferatu and like the director of this who did like I'm just gone completely fucking blank. He did The Lighthouse and he did The Witch. Robert Eggers, phenomenal director. I think visually the film is stunning, like really beautiful. I think like a lot of the cinematography of it is great. I think its use of like shadows is fantastic. I think like the homage to the original, there's obviously a lot of reverence for that original film. I think that's all great. I think Nosferatu himself in the film is really entertaining. But it's just a bit of a slog. Like, it's just anytime he's not on screen, this movie just crawls at a pace. I don't really like any of the characters outside of him, you know, or enjoy seeing them. So it's just a bit of a snooze fest, I feel like, a lot of it.
So I completely agree. I thought this just kind of... I don't know whether I enjoyed it or not. I know I got uncomfortable halfway through, but not because I was scaring. I got uncomfortable kind of looking at my family who came to see us with us, thinking everybody's starting to move around in the seats because people are getting uncomfortable and bored, and it just feels like not a lot happens. It's stunning to watch. The cinematography is beautiful. There are some stunning scenes. I think there are some horrendous performances. Personally, I know. Watch the full review.
So Pierre's least favorite character was outside of Nosferatu, my favorite character, my favorite performance. I was really excited for Willem Dafoe as like the Van Helsing character. I just didn't find him. I didn't think that lived up to what that could have been. You know.
Yeah. What I will say, and I think we both agreed on this, was there was a lot of heat in the press about the portrayal of Nosferatu. Count, is it Orlok? Orlok, I think. Yeah. About him being kind of the accent he uses, the facial hair he's got, the design of him. I didn't have any problem with any of that. I thought it worked really well.
You can't just do that Max Schreck look again.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that because that's like the perfect vampire look. So like you have to do something different. And I liked some of the element, like it does kind of things that make sense for a vampire that you don't really see other ones do in terms of like the way that they're undead.
Yeah.
Where there's kind of like, you know, rotting flesh kind of on them, and he looks like he stinks.
He's not a sexy, handsome vampire.
No, he's a walking. There's elements of him that's kind of set, like he has a seductiveness, but he is like a revolting monster at the same time.
Yeah, he's a walking corpse, basically.
Yeah, literally, like, which is awesome. Yeah. I think that's a really cool for like take on a vampire. I think like a lot of the Robert Eggers stuff, like anyone familiar with any of his movies, he has a lot of like shocking, kind of feels like they crossed the bar moments. There's not as much of that in this as I was hoping. There's one moment where a character eats a live bird, and that's about as shocking as it gets really in this. I feel. But like when the movie ended, everybody kind of got out of their seats and there was like a feeling of like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel like anyone in the cinema enjoyed. I probably, out of everybody in the cinema, enjoyed it. Like, was one of them that appreciated it the most, I guess. You know?
I think the interesting thing for me, and I think we both commented that it happened in both of our screenings, that there were people walking out of my screening. I know you had
two
the
people
same.
in front of me walked out. Yeah.
I just, I don't know. It was it was a letdown because I went into this expecting that I was going to absolutely love it. I thought this was going to be one of my favorite movies.
All time like favorite horror movies. I thought I was going into guess. You know?
Yeah. Me being a Gen Z adult kept thinking about Lily Rose's kissing him with his maggot breath. Yeah. So yeah, sadly a bit of a letdown at the start of the year movie for us, really, and I was hoping it was going to be superb.
But you know what? Like see it yourself, because some people think this is the best thing ever made. You know, like, so like I'm disappointed because I thought I was going to feel like it was going to be the best thing ever. I thought this was going to be my favorite horror movie the last like 5 years. It's just like it's got some really. I think the way I put it in the spoiler was 40 minutes of this is genius. Like, it's brilliant. You know, and the rest of the movie is like,
it's pretty
ranges from good to okay.
Yeah. The TV series, I think. Which TV series?
TV series, is that?
I think he means no. What's the other one that's not being? Man, Rob Lowe was in one of the originals versions of it. You saw it at the cinema. I haven't seen it yet. Salem's Lot.
Yes.
I think.
Salem's Lot.
There's been a TV show, I think.
Is that? Well, I saw the movie in the cinema.
Yeah.
Is there a show of that as well?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, I know what Fuzzy's talking about. Sorry, Fuzzy, I'm doing you a disservice. You're talking about Nos 4 Rotu, which is the Joe Hill TV series. So Joe Hill did a book called Nos 4 Rotu. Is a kind of a, I think it's like a postcode within the name. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Fuzzy. He's got the thing there. Yeah, I've not read the book, but I'm a big fan of Joe Hill's work. He's Stephen King's son. He's done some amazing stuff. He did The Black Phone and Heart Shaped Box, which is a really good book. So, and it's got the guy, is it Zachary something or other, the guy who played Sylar in Heroes and then Spock in Star Wars. He was in American
Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
He's great cast. That's great casting, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah. Panel, Sean. Sorry, Sean said they got cancelled, unfortunately, Fuzzy. I know there's 2 seasons of it on Peacock or something. So I'll have to try that out. Sorry, James, you're saying that.
Sorry, we should just mention that Bill Skarsgård was incredible in this film. Yeah. I think his performance was really amazing. There's an oomph. It is unrecognizable. There was, I think, one shot of the movie where I looked at him and I was like, oh, that I can recognize that that's Bill Skarsgård. And the rest of it's just he just disappears into that.
But the voice, you don't get that it's him either.
Not at all. No.
Sean saying the new Salem's Lot movie's awful. You didn't mind it, James, did you?
I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Yeah. That's a shame.
3rd season of From. I'm going to start watching that this weekend.
I watched the first episode of that. It's like where these things come out at night in this town, isn't it? Yeah. Awesome. Really cool. I'm gonna binge through that.
Season 1 and 2 were amazing, absolutely amazing. Okay. It's got a danger though of being very much like Lost, in terms of just posing. Every episode poses a few new questions, and you never know what the answers are. From season 3 dropped on Sky this week, and I think it was the entire season has dropped. So yeah, looking forward to that. Just also mentioning horror, I mentioned it on the show the other night, but I haven't got a slide for it. But just to say, Dexter. The new season of Dexter, the kind of the prequel, is absolutely amazing. Thoroughly enjoying that. It's really, really worth watching.
I'm going to check it out because I'm a big Christian Slater stan, obviously.
Yeah.
So I will check that out.
SM is saying the 3rd season's finished yet. Finished in America a little while ago. They've dropped the full 3rd season on Sky now. So if you've got Sky, it's on there to watch. Really love From. Hope it doesn't suffer from the lost problems. Yeah, me too. Okie dokie, James. James Bond, Sherlock Holmes, and Zorro. What have they all got in common?
They are, I was about to say are public domain, but I don't think Bond is public domain, is he?
Yep. So they're all.
Is Bond public domain?
Yeah. Some of the characters, so not the movie versions, but the original books are. So a lot of these characters are public domain. Public domain, for people that don't know, we talked about it a little bit earlier on the show when we're talking about Mickey Mouse and Hook. Public domain basically means when bits of literature and things like that have been out for a long, long time, they kind of finally become free to use. It gets a bit tricky because it's the versions of the characters. So, for example, Popeye's now public domain from the original. This guy on Facebook explained it. The version that appeared in the comic strip is public domain, but the cartoon version where he's eating his spinach and all that kind of stuff is not. So you cannot use those elements.
Same way The Wizard of Oz is, but the ruby slippers are from the movie, and so you can't use ruby slippers. Exactly. You have to use silver slippers, or you have to license the fact that they're ruby slippers, which is kind of a crazy. It makes sense, I suppose, that when someone's added a new element, they own that new element.
Absolutely. And we've seen kind of lots of movies starting to come out. We've got the Winnie the Poohs and all that kind of stuff. There are some real interesting characters coming out over the next year or two. Tintin, not a one that I was ever a big fan of, really. Betty Boo, Goofy. King Kong is an interesting one, James. 2029. Yeah, King Kong, so not that far away. We've obviously got Snow White. We've got Superman, Batman, Captain America, Wonder Woman. Now, Bambi's an interesting one because we've got a Bambi film coming out, haven't we?
So that's Bambi, the Disney movie. I'm assuming that's based on like
a book or something.
Yeah, like Hans Christian Andersen book or something like that. So that would be my guess. But like, I mean, just like they're fucked when Batman, Superman, and Wonder. I know it's like you can't use, you know, it has to be that S and stuff like that. But like, you know, and Batman has to have the purple gloves and shit. But like, it's the three biggest characters going that quick.
Gonna be interesting.
You know? Yeah.
C4 Darkman saying here in 2024 we could have a crossover with all of them, and that's kind of what this other image on the side here is, mate. Because someone has proposed an idea which I love, and see, James, see how much I love you. I'm talking video games, mate. He's proposed a kind of a Mortal Kombat game where every year the new characters that are introduced to the game are the characters that come into public domain.
That's so kind of clever, I think.
Really clever. Really clever. You get new content all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So this is some of the characters that are either in public domain now or are coming into public domain. And you've got ones like Sherlock Holmes, the original Dracula, things like that. Like you said, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, Zeus, Thor, they've always been in public domain, just not the Marvel versions of them. Zorro, Buck Rogers, I think, comes into public domain this year, which is really interesting. But I guess the reason I'm putting that on here is we've got a lot of horror stuff coming at the moment. That's all the different public domain stuff that's coming. Is there anything there that jumps out that you think, actually, do you know what? I'm excited to see if they could make something semi-decent horror-wise out of it. But my immediate thought, I have to say, is King Kong, a proper horror version of King Kong could be impressive.
You're imagining a good movie, though. I think the problem
that's the problem, isn't it?
The problem is that's going to be low budget as shit. That's going to look worse than that original movie did. It's going to be a guy in a suit, you know, with
big
weird,
monkey suit,
weird fucking rear projection shit in it. Like, it's going to be terrible. Like one, I know, like there's so much Joker stuff, but I think like a really like a Joker horror movie could be interesting.
But it's interesting. So someone commented on that, I think on the pages, and they said the interesting thing about the Joker is the Joker character that we're familiar with from DC is copyrighted and all the rest of it, but actually a killer clown, there's nothing really copyrighted there. So you've already got killer clown based movies, you know.
But also, like, I think that character is kind of, in his original appearance, is fully formed effectively. Like, there's not that, like, you know, how he appeared in the original, in Batman issue 1, like, is how he kind of is now. Like, there's been different interpretations of him and everything, but like, you know, he's got the playing cards, he's got the purple suit, you know. So I think like just that could be really cool. Like I you know, a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman horror movie. Sounds fun. Like I think all of these will become horror movies, but we're also gonna get like there's gonna be like CW TV shows. They're nice. Well, CW is a bad example because Warner Brothers, but like there's gonna be like, you know, in the way that there's like 5 different Sherlock TV shows. There's like Watson. There's you know, Sherlock. There's one that's modern day and shit. We're gonna get like with every one of these characters shit like that as well. You know. But like in terms of a horror movie, I would say I just wait until the Bugs Bunny one. What's that suit gonna look like? That's gonna look terrible. That's gonna look awful.
I would just do away with the suit altogether. Make it just a movie about, you know, the what's the Monty Python film with the bunny that kills them all? Oh man, they have to use the holy hand grenade to kill it. Last Crusade, I can't remember. Right. I worry slightly that we're just gonna get dirge shit films every year. But we haven't got to watch them, I suppose. We haven't got to watch them, but we're going to be talking about them for a long time, aren't we?
Do you think this is a bit of a pivot from horror, but do you think like Marvel's just going to put Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman into their comics? Like,
I don't know.
Do you think they have the balls to do that?
I still don't really understand how it all works, if I'm being really honest with you. I kind of get my head around the fact. I understand the concept of public domain for a property that's not been used for a long time or something like that. But for a character like using Superman and Batman, for example, the money that's tied up with that, and it belongs to the company that's still there, still using
bread and butter.
Yeah, it's like, how can that be really legal? How can that work? You know, that you just, I can have it now. I'm going to use it.
I mean, Batman would be one of the most valuable brands in the world. That bat symbol. Like people can put that fucking bat symbol on anything, you know. But like, you know, in the way like in Marvel there is a Dracula, there is a Zeus. You know, are they like, hey, let's just put Superman and Batman, and the Wonder Woman and Joker. Like,
guess there's nothing to stop them doing it.
I'm curious because I think Captain America, like they'll do whoever strikes first, and then it's a free for all. Do you know, Captain America's gonna be in a Batman thing as well. Like Captain America movie, someone doing like a really gritty World War II movie, with Captain America. That could be really cool. Like the Invaders.
Yeah,
I'm actually get a fucking Invaders movie. Like that'd be awesome. You know.
Anyway, interesting times ahead. Interesting times ahead. More bloody Winnie the Pooh and shit coming. And that's whack. That's all we've got tonight. Anything you want to add, James? Anything we've got coming up on the channel you want to talk about?
Yeah, we have our Nosferatu spoiler that will be up in the next few days, and then we have our I'll be right back on Dog Soldiers. So that's going to be. It's been a long time coming, but it will come out. I promise everybody. Yes, that's what we have coming up, and then we have I'll be right back on the channel. We have standalone reviews and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we got. How's that? Was that good?
Fuzzy, just saying, still no reply. Shambles. I think that might be in reference to his very polite request.
SM's,
for friendship.
Request.
Friendship.
Disappointed.
Sorry, Fuzzy. Don't unsubscribe, Fuzzy. Not down to us, mate. Not down to us.
We can't afford to lose it.
Yeah. Well, did you know? Don't know if you spotted this. I put something on Instagram the other day saying, you know, guys, we're not far off 500 subs. It would be lovely if you could support the channel. Lost a subscriber.
Yeah.
But
guys, all 8 of you that are watching right now, we really appreciate your support. So thank you for sticking with us, listening to us talking shite about.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
But with that, we will call it a night. Because I'm ready for bed. I'm knackered. I'm an old man. Thank you for watching. We shall catch you next time. James, is there anything you want to add before we go?
Oh, Peter, it may not be Halloween, but I still think everyone's entitled to one good scare.